Joe like that full moon. Yeah. So, quick tour of the camp for the folks that showed up. Looks like there's 7 people in here. I'm gonna have to pull up my my other phone so I can stick with the chat. So I'm on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Parkway is right down there. The only scary thing right now is I'm looking at some fires down there. I don't know if you can see the small one right there, and then there's a big one up there. Well, a lot of smoke. I don't think there's anybody living back there, but I think that's a little bit of forest fire. And I think the only thing that's encouraging is that it's kind of been drizzling today, which is why I'm setting up a shelter. I'm probably not 15 miles up the parkway, but I'm gonna get a microphone out. And what else do I need? I need a microphone. I need my other phone. So let's see if this thing will hold up. Stand up while I'm going to get all that stuff. BRB. Let's see if I can get a log or something to hold this thing down. Yeah, I'll just get my stuff. The sun's actually coming out for the first time today. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Check that out. All right. I have a charge on this phone. I can entertain you guys maybe with some chat nonsense. Ugh. Please stand by. Talk about Blue Ridge Parkway. Talk about the Nantahala. But it's very windy up here. I really need this microphone. Really need the microphone. And this is what I'm doing, by the way. Everybody thinks that I'm just showing you a picture of my beautiful knees. There's nothing beautiful about my knees. Oh, let's see if I can figure out where this microphone goes. How's that? How's the audio, people? Any feedback would be righteous. Let's see how long I can keep this camera upright. I think it's going to be a challenge in this wind, in this tiny little tripod, but we're gonna make the attempt. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is try something that I've never tried before. I'm gonna try to hold this crappy tripod down with a oh, wow, this thing just does not want to open. Oh, okay. Well, hello everyone. Please stand by while I open up my I'll be right back, y'all. Y'all stand by. Wow, this really does not want to get out of here. Oh, there we go. I need mobile hotspot. There we go. Oh, we didn't even leave the freaking thing. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all, and I will enter the chat. Hopefully. Talk about technical difficulties. Man, it's very difficult when you're out in the wilderness. All right. Any bets as to how long this little crappy tripod is going to stand up on its own? I'm taking bets. Wow, the sun is out. That's crazy, man. It has been cloudy and gloomy all freaking day. And here we are. Oh, that was a little bit of a hustle to get that tarp up. It's supposed to be raining before 6. Well, it's been raining a little bit this afternoon. I stopped because I knew the rain was coming, and I stopped in, grabbed some power and some internet at McDonald's, and it started raining as soon as I got in there. So I was like, oh, okay, that is really cool. Y'all stand by here a second. Let me catch my breath. Let me see if I can find the freaking video. Live. Why is there no live here? All right, I got to go check my email to get the link to get to the video, believe it or not. YouTube does a lot of interesting things, but you would think that they would make it really easy. Yep. Can't find anything. If I've got people in the stream, surely, I think I must have published like 6 videos today. I'm just the short videos that I could just upload from my phone are incredibly easy, fast and easy, just incredible. And it's kind of like, why not? Why would I not do something that's incredibly fast and easy? All right, I'm going to clip this microphone on here because you can probably hear me, and it's not going to be on my shirt. So, all right, let me find the freaking video. I mean, here's all my videos. Is there a damn one of these that's live right now? No, you can't find the link. So, usually what I do when I'm going live is I copy the link. Before I go live, I copy the link to the live stream and email it or text it to the phone. That way I can click on the link and get to the live stream. But it's my channel, so it makes it extremely difficult. If I was subscribed to my own channel, view channel. Let's try view channel. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. Finally. Wow. Okay. Let me catch up on some chats, y'all. While y'all were sitting there getting mooned by me setting up my my tarp. Yeah, I had to set this up not only as a windbreak, but also just in case it starts raining. This is kind of a interesting strategy to keep from getting wet. Something that all you ground dwelling savages can't do. Imagine that you get to camp at 8 o'clock at night and it's pouring down rain. What do you do? You get to camp and it's pouring down rain and you're a ground dweller. What do you do? unless you have one of these, everything that you own that you pull out of your saddlebags or whatever you got your shit packed in is going to get wet. If you got one of these, you can set your stuff on the ground and start setting up your tent, setting up whatever. And in the meantime, we'll probably move over here in a second if the wind doesn't die down. But the light is fantastic here. So anyway, yeah, just a little bit of commentary for you ground dwellers, and maybe a little bit of a push to maybe explore the hammock camping world, because I've been doing that and been very, 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 very happy for the last, I don't know, 17 years. It's been amazing. What's up, Lucas? Screwing around on mom at work. Look, mister, I am not screwing around. I'm a professional motorcycle camper. Get that through your thick head. This is not screwing around. I know what I'm doing most of the time. Just hanging out. What's up, Hoagie? All the world is a stage. This is the Moto Giants Globe Theater, yeah. Oh, I came up with a good quote the other day. I think it's mine. It sounds like somebody else's, but I'm gonna have to remember it here. I don't even remember what the topic was, but I told it to my buddy Josh, who just left. I just split up with him a couple 3 hours ago. We camped really close together on Lake Santitla, and he had to get back and work. Imagine that. He actually went back to work about 3 weeks ago. He takes off during the winter because he does his business just like that in the winter. So he gets to take off and run around and fool around like I do. Some lucky few of us are able to do that. And anyway, we spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah, 3 days, 2 nights. Hung out with my boy Josh from Michigan. Very cool guy. He's on his T7, and he actually seems like he knows what the heck he's doing too. So motorcycling and camping. So it's a real pleasure to hang out with people that maybe I can learn something with sometimes. I mean, I'm sure I can learn something from everybody, but when it comes to camping and sometimes motorcycles, I certainly don't know it all. So anybody that's approaching professional motorcycle camping, I'd love to hang out with those dudes. And I think there's going to be a few of them coming to the Motorcycle Camp and Cook on the 24th. Gary sent me a text today for an update of you guys that are thinking about going to Texas, south of Dallas. 24th through the 28th, Motorcycle Camp and Cook, 3rd annual. Gary sent me a text today. I said, well, it looks like some storms are coming in. And I'm like, man, please. That's a week away. I mean, there may be some storms here, but just to kind of give you the heads up that there may be storms on the way. He says it's going to be 24th, 25th, 26th. And he tried to tell me that it was going to rain the second week in April too, because he looked at the Farmer's Almanac. So I'm not taking any word from Gary. He just looked at the forecast that's more than a week out, and all I'm saying is if it's storming, we'll push it to the next week. So what is that, the 1st? For anybody that's interested in coming. So, if the event gets pushed, maybe some of the guys that could come on the 24th could come. Oh, he's still sleeping. Who is that? Apartment 223. He's still sleeping. Sasquatch with closure. Sounded fine. Felix Chair is on year 2 or 3? 3. Audio better than at your home. Yeah, that's not surprising. What's up, Matt? Tyler, audio is A-OK for windows, noise, low and volume. I can move this thing closer. We'll try that. I don't know how much closer, but we can. I have the technology. It's cheap. It's cheap technology, but I have the technology. How far off the road are you? I would say quarter mile. So I'm zooming down the parkway. I just got on in just above Cherokee. I thought that I had been down this far. I think the one time I came in here, I came off the parkway and turned left, went into the Cherokee. Yeah, that's exactly what it did. So I didn't see all the charm that this section of the Parkway has. So I think I've never come in on the Parkway this far south, but I've gone out this way. And I think I've ridden the Parkway, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. I've done the whole Parkway twice, and then I've done multiple sections several times. I love it up here. Um, you're close enough to town that it's not you're not in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, but you're far enough away from most people. Uh, Especially this time of year, there's nobody up here. I passed one car on the way up here, and they followed me up here. It was this couple from Catalonia, Spain. They had this weird looking SUV that looked like, and it turned out looked like a 4-wheel drive diesel truck with this weird looking bed on it. And, it's plastered with stickers, around the world stickers, everywhere they've been. Anyway, it's pretty cool van. These guys had to be at least late 60s, mid 70s, somewhere in that range. And their English was really bad. And of course, my Spanish was really bad, so we didn't really communicate that well. But we got to, they're here for 3 months. They could only get a 3-month visa, which is kind of sad. I think they said they were going to Canada next. So anyway, there's a lot to see in 3 months. And the way they were crawling up the Parkway, I don't think they're ever going to make it out west. Maybe they've already made it out west, and maybe they're headed to Canada next. I don't know. Let me see what's going on. Let me finish all these chats here, and I'll tell y'all what's been going on. This stupid phone keeps flipping on me. Yeah, so 1/4 mile off the road, Hoagie. KLR in here, okay. KLR in Oklahoma here. What's up, Howard? Welcome, man. Solon and Josh, the same guy. No, Solon, if you guys will remember, Solon met us on the first day of the Trans-American Trail. So Solon lives in Nashville. Solon lives in Nashville. Josh lives in Michigan. Y'all will. I put out some shorts in the last few days of Josh. So if you've been on the Facebook Moto Giant Facebook page, you would have seen a few videos that Josh has put out himself. But this time you will see Josh as I interpreted Josh. Josh is awesome, man. Josh is an adventurer. He likes to winter in the south, so he comes south in the winter to get away from all that chaos. And I think he's been doing that. I think he said 3 or 4 years now. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. Anyway, you'll see more of Josh once I get his stuff edited. But yeah, after the stream is over, go back and look for the shorts that I put out. I've got vertical shorts and 2-minute shorts. So I think I put like 3 or 4 out with Josh in them. So you'll know there's a little bit of a difference between Josh and Solon. But Solon came up. You didn't see a lot of Solon because Solon didn't want to camp. So we stayed in an Airbnb in a hotel, and then Solon bugged out, went back to work. So he's not much of a. I think he wants to be a motorcycle camper, but I don't think he's ready. He brought a nice little cot tent with him, and he was excited to show me. I never got that. He never pulled it out. Just rode around with it on his bike. Anyway, we had a good time. We went out to dinner. We went out and had steaks. What was that, Friday night? Then Saturday we were down here, went and had Mexican, and then sat and chilled in the hotel room, which is also one of the reasons I got that first video out, because I had a chance to actually sit down and chop that thing up and upload it. Yeah. But I think Solon's talking about coming up next weekend. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I'm going to be heading like this across the Parkway. So the Parkway, for you folks, this camera may be backwards. I don't know. I can't figure out how to get this stupid camera to flip around, at least when I'm shooting videos with it. It's flipping the screen like those stupid iPhones. And there is no setting to flip the screen back, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. moderate temperatures this evening. I think it's going to be in the mid 50s. It was warm last night. It was sort of the chill, get cool like it has been up here uh, yesterday afternoon, evening, and then it just kind of warmed up, and I was sitting around in my thermals going, wow, this is really warm. This is really weird. It's probably going to rain this morning. And I got a few drops before I left Robbinsville. Then I went up and met Josh on the Dragon. We hung out there for a few minutes. And then he took the Dragon home. And I took 28 towards Cherokee. And here I am up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. First night, it's taken me almost a week to get to the Blue Ridge Parkway, but I haven't been in a hurry. I've just been hanging with the boys and chilling. It's been great, man. The only thing I feel like I'm missing is a fishing rod, because we could have caught some freaking fish in the last few days. I mean, everybody else is, so, even a dummy like me, I'm thinking, can catch a fish. Even a blind man can catch a fish. Keep it up. Some of us northern people still can't get bike out today. High fives. Yeah, dude, I feel sorry for you, but I mean, start making your plans. You got plans to get out and do the thing? Get out here in the woods and make some noise. I am in the middle of a road. It's not much of a road. It's 2-track road, and I'm hoping nobody's going to come down here. But this is so I turned off on a dirt road that comes up to this pinnacle of a mountain up here, this very small, like the Mount Everest, I guess, of the Appalachians, because it comes up. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably 3,000 feet, 3,500 feet up here, I'm guessing. But there's a fire tower up there, which I think is what they cut the dirt road for. So it kind of winds up here, gets up to the fire tower, and there's a couple of cell towers up there. And I noticed a couple of roads on the way up, just in case, because there's a nice dirt road all the way up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get up to the top. There's nothing up there. I got up there and it's windy as shit. So I was like, there's nothing stopping the wind up there, because it's basically a pinnacle. There's a few trees like this up there, but it's on a point. So it's a very narrow, very short trail. There's a house up there too. I'm guessing it was probably the station. Maybe that was a station. They have a lot of that stuff out west. They have a lot of stations out west where it's not just some guy scrambles up to a tower once in a while. They actually have people living in those houses. And I think this is the cradle of forestry, cradle of the Forest Service. Let me adjust this camera here real quick before it falls over. Yep. No. Yeah, crappy tripod, but I mean, it's almost working so far. How's that for a picture? I was setting up the tarp earlier. I was like, oh man, my crack is showing. It's like, yeah. Normally, if I get a crack shot, I can edit it out, but this might be harder. Creaky Camper. Hello, Ken from the Creaky Camper. What's up, Creaky Camper? I bet you're in here for the stealth camping, aren't you? Real curious. Just brought a new KLR, thinking about going solo camping. Thanks for the tips. Man, I got so many more tips. The problem I've got is, until I bump into people that are struggling, I don't know what I need to share. And to see somebody that's struggling and getting out for their first time in the woods, what I would tell you, the same thing, probably the most important tip that I can give you before you go anywhere: set your shit up in your yard. Find some place. If you're hammock camper, set your hammock up. If you're a tent camper, set your tent up. Get in there, spend the night in it. I would highly recommend that you spend the night in your tent. Spray it down with some water, some sideways water. Find out where the holes in your gear is. The literal holes in your tarp, the stuff that's going to keep you from freezing to death, things like this. Do that stuff before you get out in the woods, because I see that all the time. And that's why I keep harping on it. Test your gear every season before you go out camping. So at least once a year. You got a big trip coming up, and by big trip, it could be 3 days. You're going out in the woods for 3 days. You haven't set your gear up ever, which is a big thing. It's like, I don't know where the instructions are. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I thought this thing came with cordage or stakes or poles, or oops, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, and I'm sleeping on the ground in my sleeping bag that's rated for 50 degrees, and it's a 30-degree night. You got all kinds of obstacles that you should be able to figure out, and it's not romantic. It's not fun for the people that have never had experiences like I have and others, where you just wing it. And it's so incredible that so many people wing it, despite me telling them, don't wing it, man. Get your stuff together. And not just that, you got to make it fun in your head, because I do it every year. I still do it every year. Pull out my gear before I go. Pull out my gear. Make sure, number one, make sure all your gear's there. Set it up and get comfortable with setting it up. Find the holes in your technique. Find the holes in your equipment, meaning something's missing. If you don't know how to set your crap up, you need to learn. And if you're home, you got resources. If you're at the house, you can get on the internet and go, I've never set this tent up before. You could watch all the videos before you leave home, and then, you should be a partial expert before you leave the house. And at least you know that you crawl into your shelter and it's not going to leak water. Now, the temperature thing is a little bit more in depth and a little bit harder to solve those problems. Nothing I could tell you really quickly here. But we're going to be talking about cold temperatures at the Motorcycle Camping Cook. So if you're going to that, it's a free event if nobody knows about it. Search for, I don't know. I put that video out less than a couple of weeks ago. So after the stream, go in and look for the Motorcycle Camping Cook. This guy riding through the desert with a pack on his bike. Motorcycle Camping Cook number 3. That's what you're looking for. Details are in there. You have to sign up to get the details to where to show up, but it's a free event. So, and I'll be sending out an email to everybody that registered about where it's going to be and some tentative things if weather comes in. So tentatively, if the weather comes in, it's going to storm all week, then we'll cancel the event, because probably nobody's going to ride their motorcycles in the rain. And even if they do, nobody wants to hang out in the rain. It's kind of hard to make a fire in the rain. I mean, we could do it. If it rains while we're there, no big deal. I'm going. But if it's raining before, during, and after the event, then we'll just reschedule it for the next week. But that's kind of what happens, especially in Texas. This time of year, you never know. It's going to rain. But we're going to wing it. We're going to see what happens. And whatever you do, don't wing your first camping trip. Hopefully I made that pretty clear. We'll see. Think about going solo camping and just do it. Execute. But just do it wisely, Howard. That's a good comment, man. You know how to fish? Vaguely. I got a buddy in Tuscaloosa that's trying to help me. What are you cooking for dinner? I got to get rid of some of this crap that I brought with me and some of the crap that Solon left with me. So I've got Spam, and I've got a jar of chicken. So I'm either doing Spam. Oh, I bought some fresh veggies the other day. So I got broccoli, I've got fresh mushrooms. I've got Spam. I've got a tin of chicken, so canned chicken. And then I've got a bag of rice and I've got some ramen noodles, which is carbs. I don't need them, but I haven't actually totally transitioned into pure keto yet. So, and I'm kind of cooking on the run too. It's so much easier just to eat something when you're on the run and when you're rolling and when you're unknown weather. If you're going to sit and park your ass somewhere for a few days, it's much easier to cook whatever the hell you want to. There's tons of firewood up here. I could have a nice fire, except there's tons of breeze here, and there's fires around me, and there's smoke in the Smoky Mountains. Imagine that. Um, so I don't know what I'm going to cook. I'm going to cook either fry up some spam and fry up some spam and some mushrooms and some broccoli and throw it into my ramen noodles, or I'm going to throw some chicken into some rice. Either one would be spectacular. Depends on my hunger. What are you guys cooking? Keith always has the best food. He always sends me pictures of the stuff that he and his lovely wife are eating or what she's cooking for him. Fantastic pictures. I'm always kind of jealous. Camping, cooking, clean. When did you shower last? I showered Sunday morning. I did my whore bath yesterday, so I got to take care of this. The plan was to stay at camp because I had a nice creek down below. I was going to take a shower today because I had a bag full of creek water warming up. Except the sun's been like this for the last 2 days. It was very cool yesterday. It was pretty cool today, and there's no warmth. So I was like, cold bath. I'll wait till I can either find a truck stop or some source of warm water, or I just keep whore bathing. I mean, whore bath is fine. I would like to take care of this greasy hair and do my pets and shit like that, but so far nothing's sticking together. Oh, I wish I wasn't laid out from a motorcycle accident. If I weren't, I would totally go. Looking to purchase an adventure bike with my settlement. Hey man, bring your car. You don't have to bring your bike. If you want to come and pick up some tips, it's free. Get in your car and come on out, man. We're not going to discriminate at the camping cooks. Some of them will be difficult. Some of them in the future will be difficult to get into. Not only that, there's a campground a mile and a half away if you don't want to do the hardcore stuff. There's motels. Just go find the video after the stream. Go find the video of the motorcycle camp cook with the details and sign up for the thing. Even if you're thinking about going, at least you'll have the details and you could just roll in at the last minute. And the good thing, if you're driving your car, you said you're laid up though, so that I don't know if you can actually make a trip like that if you're busted up. Anyway, it's open invitation, man. Laid up, laid out. Yeah. I hope you get you a nice bike, man. I hope you get back and moving around. Southern Rebel. That would be Johnny. Just got in from Perfect Weather Ride and found your live stream. How's the BRP treating you? Johnny, I was on the parkway for less than an hour when I found this dirt road. I'm on a ridge that's paralleling the parkway. So I've been up here maybe 2.5 hours. I came up here and sat down. I was like, is it too windy? Can I deal with this wind? It's like, it's not any more windy than it was next to the creek, next to the lake for the last 4 days. Yeah, it's fine up here. Go with a small or mid CC bike, boys. That's good. That's good advice, man. The smaller the better. Adventure bike is what you make it. It depends. It really depends on what you want to do. If you want to do a few dirt roads at the end of your 500-mile trip on pavement, then a big heavy bike like this is probably not a bad idea. But if you wanna do crazy stuff like the road that I had to do to get in here, you probably want something lighter. Because you don't have to You don't have to wait on somebody else to crush your dreams, because you can crush them yourself on a big bike, riding nasty, rooted roads like this. Moto chat, hope the weather. Chat. Well, I don't know if I don't even know if this is chat. I don't. It looks like we're still streaming. I don't know. Hope the weather has been good for your trip. It's been pretty good. Temperatures have been moderate. The rain has mostly held off. The first day I got out, it rained on me half the day. But I found I found an amazing shelter stealth camp first night, so that was great. I don't mind the rain. A lot of people don't like the rain. I'm not one of those guys. I like the rain. I don't like riding in strong, heavy rain because I can't see, and people can't see me. But I like camping in the rain. Um, I like raindrops, man. It's just something. I'm a weirdo, so I'm one of those weird people that yeah, it's gonna rain a little bit this week, but that doesn't translate to Texas. So if it's pouring down rain, if it's thunderstorm, nobody's going to ride there. And if nobody rides, I don't want to ride to Texas to find out that nobody's there. It's going to be me and Gary hanging out, which would be cool. But I think we'd probably get tired of each other for a week, waiting on the next week for everybody to roll in. I don't know. We'll see. Riding across country in the rain is not great, especially if it's heavy rain. Gary will tell you about that. He's spent a lot of miles in the rain. I think his first camping cook, he rode through freaking thunderstorms for a day or two. Unbelievable. I'm trying to figure out. The chat keeps moving, so looking at T7s. Yeah, T7s are cool, man. KLRs, it's a fine bike. It's a good machine. Um, it'll get you across country. They're cheap. They're everywhere. They're plentiful. KLRs are plentiful and everywhere, and they're cheap. They're probably still half price of a new T7. Um, they kind of hold their value though. They don't really drop in value very quickly. So KLR's a fine bike. You can modify everything really extensively except the suspension. So if you think you might want to do a little bit more rugged off-road stuff than just trails and dirt roads, you might want to look at maybe bumping it up to something a little bit more able as far as suspension. And that's what I always talk about. It's got motorcycles, depending on what you're doing, everybody focuses on how big the engine is. How big does this make my dick look? The bigger the engine, I got to have an 1800cc motorcycle to ride on an adventure. No, you don't. Keith, KA, the guy in the chat, will show you how to do it on a 150cc motorcycle. He does cross country trips all the time, or at least he used to. Now he's got a T-Dub, he's got a DR, so big freaking bikes are not a requirement to go have fun and adventures. Just it's a marketing ploy. If you notice, you can buy a motorcycle under $5,000 if it's a small engine. Now you get over 1,000 cc's, and it's like most people can't afford it without making payments. So we're getting into philosophy. I need to save the adventure bike video. Where's your hills? Brown County. Matthew finding. Yeah. Lucas is telling you right, man. Get you a good KLR. You may not like it. You may not like the off-road thing. You may not like adventures. And if you find out after you bought the bike, a KLR is really easy to get rid of. You can probably sell it for what you paid for it if you don't pay too much. A good used KLR, easy to sell because everybody wants to try it out, and that's the best way. Get you a good pair of work boots. Don't get fancy Ferragamos to find out that you don't like to dance, because nobody wants your stinking used Ferragamos.
Do you walk into the bush when you're looking for a spot, or do you just figure way in on using the bike, getting the bike in? Where I am now weak at. Uh, so I've been doing this a long time, so it's kind of hard to explain my method. But typically, I think I said this recently. Typically, a rule of thumb: stealth camping in an unknown area, something you're not familiar with. If you're going into an unknown area, you can look at road maps and you can look at Google Earth. There's all kinds of tools that you can go, oh, look, here's a county road that looks like dirt. So you can get a lay of the land. You can find features. You can find satellite images to where um, the prospects are. So, like, the best place to look is in the national forest because there's lots of space out here that there's not going to be a landowner that comes up with a shotgun and goes, "What's the hell are you doing on my land?" So it's much easier if you can find something out here. But typically, what I do when I'm rolling down the pavement is I look for dirt roads. When I see a dirt road, I go, I wonder what's out there. I take a turn, and then I look for another dirt road or trail or something going off. All I want to do is get off the main road, number one, get away from all the traffic and the eyeballs, and find a dirt road that takes me out far enough that I don't hear the people on the pavement. I don't see them. They don't see me. And then if I go far enough down the road to find another trail or another dirt road, the odds of somebody coming down that and seeing you greatly diminish, and the odds of you being on some place like this. So this is exactly what happened. Down the pavement, I see a dirt road with a gate on it. The gate's open. Wonder where that could take me. Started coming up the hill. I saw two trails, dirt roads. Not These are not really dirt roads. These are trails. These are tracks across the ridge. I don't know what's over there. I didn't want to go that far to find out because the trail is getting really rugged here. So first turn off the dirt road, up to the top of the hill, found out that's not where. It's a pretty cool spot, but the view is 360 degrees minus the structures up there. But I came back down because it was windy and found the second turn off on a trail, and poof, yeah, this happens all the time. Is first turn on the dirt road, go to the dirt road to see if there's something out there. You might find a creek, you might find another dirt road that takes you somewhere, a trail, some way to get off the trail. But usually, if you're on a main dirt road, you need to get pretty far. If you can, get pretty far off the dirt road, especially if it's got a lot of traffic on it, because you don't want to be setting up next to a dirt road with people coming every 15 minutes, because everything you own will be covered in dust and dirt and filth. And people will be staring at you when you're taking a piss. That's uh that's stealth camping 101 in 30 seconds or less. All right, where did I leave off? Does that make sense, Tyler? Let me know if you need more explanation. KLR 40. Ways. Any bikes are a real burden. Yeah, more ways than one, Keith. Mitchell area. Start out in a friend's woods and bring a cold rated bag. It's the way to start out. That's pretty good advice, Creek Camper. Just south of Bedford. Dude wipes for the win. Dude wipes are freaking expensive, Hoagie. There's no reason that you can't find a regular wipe. Dude wipes, I just looked at him in the store because I haven't seen him in a while. It's a great marketing gimmick. There is nothing special about dude wipes. So why the hell are they $12, $14? I mean, I picked up a small pack. I think it was like $3.50. So yeah, it's makes you feel better because it's in a black container, and you're thinking, oh, okay, yeah, this is for my balls. Yeah, that's a special. Just like you know, tampons work for wounds, bullet wounds just as well as they work for bleeding vaginas, and they're a whole lot cheaper than a pressure bandage. So. Uh, where will you be at this weekend? I'm going to Dual Sport event in Brevard. You talking to me, Grain and Shadow? There's so many conversations in here. I don't know who's talking to who. Looking forward to camping out. Soon as you pull the trigger, my old Harley and me. Dude, I love that somebody's just sitting, waiting for somebody to pull the trigger to get on the bike. I love that. We need more guys like you that are going, man, when's this thing gonna happen? I'm ready. I know there's some guys up north that are ready. Is that the tree of woe behind you? No, the tree of woe. Well, that's the tree of woe, also known as the tree of shame. That's the dragon. The tree of woe. Because every time you there's my fairing. There's my mirror. I have been trying to keep up. Nothing better than the sound of rain on the tarp. Yeah, dude, I love rain, man. I love it. Great stream. Now, if that tree was a maple, I'm kind of wanting to. I've been watching guys tapping trees out in the woods. And like, that's not maple syrup that they're getting. It's sap. But I mean, all you got to do is boil it, or put sap in your tea. I think I might have to do that if I can find a maple. Dude, do they have maples down this far south? I don't know. I'm probably have to go up in a little bit further north. Riding and camping. You got that right, MBR. Hell, you can ride with me even if you are on a scooter. Just enjoy it and have fun. 800 Suzuki Marauder gets me anywhere that I gotta go. Just get in and get out. That's all you gotta do. 500-pound shadow, big enough for anywhere I go. I have put 50/50 tires on it. I've done that a few times too. And I want to do. I've got a series in mind. Uh, it's the idea I've had swimming around in my head for years. The idea of the wrong bike, which pretty much everybody has, or at least the daring people. We ran into a guy that's on this full blown kitted out Harley with his wife, and he comes up and starts talking to Josh about his T7. He's like, man, I want to get one of those. Got a couple of buddies that have them, and they talk about how awesome they were. And, how I was like, yeah, you want to get out in the woods? Yes, I do. I was like, yeah, take this out there. He's like, I have. I've taken it across creeks. I was like, it's just. I was like, I understand, which is why everybody. Well, I don't want to say everybody. There's so many people that are going, man, this Harley is great for riding around town, for riding over here, riding over there. But I want to do the other things. And, those other things, there's just so much out in the woods. You can do, just say in your county at home, wherever you live, you can ride all the freaking roads in your county probably in a few weeks. If you concentrate and don't do any backtracking and all that, you probably ride all the roads in your county in a few weeks. But you can't ride all those dirt roads and all those trails in a few weeks. And not just that, the pavement changes over time, but very, very slowly. Sometimes, something washes out, something falls apart, a bridge falls in. But if you think about it, pavement changes very slowly over time. Like you might be riding down the same road that your granddad rode down. It just has a different layer of pavement on it or whatever. But the trails are always changing. The trails, there's always something different going on the trails because it's much more fluid environment. It's much more interesting, and people are making trails all the time. And so I've been kind of saying that for years. That's why it's so much more interesting for me to ride down dirt roads and trails and things like that because you always see the things that you will. I mean, it's especially if you ride all the time like me. If you're always riding, you get bored with the same old pavement that you've ridden thousands of times. But if you're getting bored with the trails and the roads that you're riding down, you just need to find a few more roads. It's much easier to be entertained in the dirt than it is on the street. That's my big point. Damn, it's starting to get cold. Baby wipes for ball cleaning. Yeah, yeah, don't limit yourself to the marketing ploy of dude wipes. I thought it was really interesting when those first came out, but man, a wipe is a wipe is a wipe, really. I mean, unless I don't remember the dude wipes having a manly scent to it. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think I picked up 2 packs of it, and then I started noticing going through the roof. It's kind of like they have special powers for your balls. No, if you can wipe a baby's ass with it, you can wipe your balls with it. I guarantee. I've been doing it. What's up, Solon? We were just talking about you earlier. Somebody was asking, is Solon and Josh the same guy? You'll see some of Solon in the edited videos that I'm making eventually. And if you don't remember Solon, he was episode 1 of the Transamerica Trail. And then episode 2 at the beginning. And then I don't think we saw Solon after that. Sap syrup vids. Yeah. I don't know that I want to boil sap and make syrup, but, well, not just that. I don't have access to a lot of maple either. Never been on a motorcycle, but I really enjoy this channel. Plus, learn something new every time. Oh, that's great, low key. I know that I've got a few people that don't ride motorcycles, but man, I'm doing other stuff. So yeah, there might be something that's cool that you could learn. Obviously, if low key's here, just yeah. The last thing I ever want to do is talk anybody into riding a motorcycle because it's dangerous as hell and it takes a lot of skill to do it well. And a lot of people never get those skills, and they think they've been riding since they were 12, but they never got those skills. So it continues to be. It's just it's a fuse that you light. How long is your fuse? That's the thing. So I try not to encourage people to ride motorcycles. It's a disease that has a cure, but it's still a disease. Welcome, Loki. Matthew, if you are still in here, the wrong bike for you is my T-dub. Just because I look funny on it, Luke? Come on, man. Remind me again who blasted through the creek water. That was, Solon, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Shit, I ain't seen him in forever. I know his dog's name. His dog's name is Dog. I can't think of his name. You only go so far on a Harley. Believe me, I've tried. Unless you're Brian. Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, I've got good footage of you, Richard, riding the Harley where you should not have ridden it. And I am proud to know the guys that are like, it's a motorcycle. I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to destroy my other leg riding it through the woods, but I can do this. Hell, dude, Richard, you could get your bike into here. I was struggling on these routes, but you could get your bike. You could get that big freaking Harley in here. Now, turning it around, I don't know. Turning it around would be a problem because this is barely 2-track, and there's trees right by the road. So I stopped right here at this flat spot where I could bump the bike backwards and then bump it forward. So, yeah, found me a good camp for the night. Woods by a gas station for the win. Awesome, dude. So Josh and I, if you don't know, if you're just joining us, Josh just split off. We just split off. We spent 3 nights together in the Nantahala on top of a creek that's right next to a lake. Yeah, it's a pretty good spot. Didn't have any internet, but we had some good riding. We got in a ride on the Cherahalla yesterday, and we took for all you guys that camped and cooked at Tellico, we took the Cherahalla up and took the dirt road down at the top of the Cherahalla down onto the Bald River. And then we tried to go back to the camp spot, but the road was closed. I think they probably lost a bridge or two out there. But yeah, Josh and I did that yesterday. And we should have ridden the Dragon, man. I screwed everything up. I wasn't paying attention to the text and your space on the map, so. What's up, Stefano from Alberta, Canada? Richard is not with me on this trip. I am solo at the moment, but I've had 2 people join me so far. Hung out with Solon for a couple of days, and I hung out with Josh for a couple of days, and it's a real pleasure. It's a treat to have people join me up on my journeys. My wife tells me my fuse is not as long as I thought it was. Mark, Hoosier Hills. Yeah, so I don't know how long I'm going to let the stream go here because the sun's going down and it's getting cold, and I would like to put my hammock up. I don't know. Y'all tell me when it gets to the point. I would really like to start a fire, but there's so much wind up here, and I'm on a ridge that's about, I don't know, 40 feet wide, 50 feet wide. So if the right wind came up, it would blow the coals down the woods and start yet another fire like the one that's over there. But yeah, I am camped, I would say 25 miles northeast of Cherokee, North Carolina. And I am headed probably, unless it's raining, it looks like the weather's going to be better tomorrow. It looks like 80, low 80s, clear skies tomorrow. So I'm going to keep rolling up the parkway and just see what kind of trouble I can get into. I'm pretty excited. I mean, the whole way up, I get on the parkway. It's just like a big golf course. If y'all haven't been up here, it's like a big golf course. It's just beautiful. It looks like somebody just put 100,000 postcards together and just said, let's just make a road that winds on top of a ridge and around mountains, nice long sweeping turns, and let's keep the grass mowed on the sides, and let's make little pullouts occasionally. And y'all are going to have a good taste of it, I think, by the time I'm done with this series. Oh, toilet paper? Yeah. Don't waste your wipes taking the shit off your ass. Or if you're like me, you got to take the shit off your ass. I can go through a pack of wipes in a few days. Or you could just stop at McDonald's and get you a biscuit and get you all the toilet paper you need. And it folds down. You do not want to carry a big roll of toilet paper with you. That's what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. I stopped doing that years ago. Unless I'm going to be at camp somewhere for a week or 2 or 3, roll of toilet paper is ridiculous. And this is really thick. It's fairly soft because you use it to do that. But yeah, my bike is jam packed full of. When I go on the road, hell, I've always got napkins from a restaurant in my bag, somewhere in my bag, and it's always just sitting there, just in case I got to take a shit or wipe my sunglasses, my glasses. I've always got something to wipe with. Wipe my ass, wipe my glasses, and then cleanup is the wipes. You want to scrub your ass with the wipes. You want it squeaky clean. That's what the wipes are for. Get the bulk of the turd that's left. Get that off with this. I should have made that pooping video a little bit longer, but I also kind of wanted to just get the point across of bury your shit, especially when you're camping with other people, especially if you're in the woods, that somebody's ever going to come across that place that you've camped. If you're running through the middle of the woods and you're not on a trail, you're thousands of feet from the nearest trail or track or place that anybody's been before, no big deal. If you just want to drop trowel and fucking, but the thing that disgusts me is being out in nature, walking down a trail or being somewhere, nice overlook, and looking out and seeing fucking wads of toilet paper everywhere and just going, man, there's a minefield of shit out there. It's disgusting, number one. You're polluting, number two, and you're ruining that beautiful spot for other people. Don't do that. And wipe your ass with restaurant napkins. and that way you will always have wipes. If you wipe your ass, if you take the bulk of the shit off your ass with napkins, the squeaky clean cleanup will be done with a couple of wipes. And the thing of wipes will last me several weeks, just because I've got the cheap free napkins. Damn, what the hell's going on here? You'll still see me. The sun is over there, what's left of it. Hell, it's not even 6 o'clock yet. Yeah, it's, wait a minute. It's almost 7 o'clock here in Eastern time. Hoosier Hills. All with the same rag. You have good weather tomorrow, about 57 chance of rain. Yeah, Friday I'm gonna dig in. Friday I'm gonna do the same thing. When the severe weather, heavy rain comes in, I usually put my big tarp up, just because I don't like being stuck in a tent. I don't like being stuck indoors in the rain. I like having, and this will be stretched. I don't know if y'all can see the other side. This is a huge tarp. This is another war bonnet. This replaced the one I've had for like 15 years. It's too big. It's too big to fit in between most trees, but it's amazing, man. You want to be outside, you got to have a big tarp, and this is nice and light and heavy duty. So I don't want to say heavy duty, but they hold up really good. Shit Talk Tuesdays with Don. Thank you, Richard. Welcome, buddy. It's always good to see you in the chat. Shit Talk Tuesdays. Shit Talk. Yes. That's a yes. That's a that should be a monthly show. Shit Talk with Don. You're talking and welcome to Shit Talk. Shit Talk Tuesdays. It's a bit to Wednesdays. Well, what do you want to talk about? I'm out. I'm juiced. I can start telling you stories, but if I start telling stories, they'll never end. Anybody got any questions, comments? Anybody else planning on joining me on the parkway? Is anybody interested in hanging out? I mean, you don't have to come camp. You can just meet me. You can meet me at camp. Anywhere close by the parkway. So I'm not driving across state to meet you for lunch. But if you're at the bottom of the hill on a parkway, if you want to come into a small town that's close to the parkway, I would say, 20 minutes. 20 minutes off the parkway. If you're willing to meet me somewhere going northeast off the parkway, I'd be glad to hang out. Lunch or early dinner, beverage somewhere. Or you could just, I could send you a campsite if you want to come hang out at the camp. I'm not sure how many more of these perfect stealth camps I'm going to have. I would say there's going to probably be at least one that's really sketchy on the side of the road within visible distance of passersby, because that's one of my goals. I want to kind of stick it out there. I know that there's more than a handful. I think I've got 5 spots on the parkway like this where you can get off the parkway. You don't have to listen to the traffic. And there's no real risk of somebody going, hey, what's that guy doing over there in the grass? I know there's at least 5 spots, and I'll make camp at all of them. But the one big goal for me is to go, I'm on the grass, on the parkway. The parkway's right there, and I'm over here in the tree line where nobody can see me. That's a big goal, because that's kind of what I'm trying to recreate from, 2009, 2010, the first time I stealth camped. I think that was the first time I stealth camped on a motorcycle. Yeah, or at least the first time I filmed it. So, damn, y'all, it's getting cold. Got 5 more minutes in case, unless y'all have some questions. Richard, you're going to Texas. That's a good question. I'm not committing because of work, but you never know. Richard, keep in mind, I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about weather. It looks like weather may be coming in next week. If it does, we'll push it to the next Wednesday. Oh, Bad Dog. Hello, have you been trespassed in the middle of the night? Yes. I'm trying to remember stories. The one story I remember that I've told many times is the story when I'm in Colorado at Rocky Mountain National Park, and I'm in my bus, But it's the same. It's the same idea. You can't try. Pretty much, there is no camping at trailhead parking. But I came into the park and asked the person when I got my ticket for the park. I said, "Do you still have camping? Because I want to camp." And she said, "Not on this side, but on the other side of the park, there's still camping available." So I went over there, and there was no camping available. And it's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I ain't driving out that in a 32-foot bus. I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. So I went down the road, I don't know, 100 yards and turned into trailhead parking and got woken up at 1 a.m. by the park rangers. And one of them went to my school. He went to the University of Alabama too. He recognized the plate. So he cut me some slack, I think, but he still ran me off in the park. And that's my biggest night. I just don't want, I never want to be woken up in the middle of the night. I don't care if I get a ticket. I don't care. I mean, I do, but that's not the big deal. I don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night by anybody. I don't want to be run off. And there was another time that somebody approached me, and it's real foggy in my memory because it's been a while back. But my response was, hey, you can't camp here. I was like, hey, man, I'll be out in the morning. I'm just on the road. Oh yeah, as long as you're gone by 8 a.m. And I think that's happened a couple times, but it's not woken up in the middle of the night. It's, hey, you can't camp here kind of thing. Hey man, I'm already set up. Do you mind, bro? I'm not one of those people that becomes a problem. I think a lot of times if you handle it correctly, and if you're not, if they're in charge, they're in charge. You're not going to talk them out of it, but I think there's a way around it if you use your language skills and your people skills like I have. 30 viewers watching. Yeah, man, every once in a while. I think it's the stealth camping. The stealth camping stuff people are interested in. I mean, look at Steve Wallace. I think there are probably more people in here if I was drinking a beer. Doing a step 2. Or if I look more like Steve Wallace. People with cell phones try to be the police. Yeah. Well, I'm much more concerned. Cops are not scanning the woods looking for campers. They never are. They're not off spotlighting in the woods looking for campers. But the one thing that you got to be most careful of is when you're going into the woods, you have to make sure that nobody sees you going into the woods, because there's people that live around everywhere. And if you're going into somebody's neighborhood, let's just say, there's houses over here, there's houses over there, and there's this dirt road, and I got off in here. If one of the neighbors sees you going into the woods, he has a perfect, sensible, logical right to be upset for some stranger going into the woods next to his house or next to his neighbor's house. So those are the people you got to be most concerned about. I mean, really, just think about, you guys have strangers in your neighborhoods, right? I mean, there's probably been some weird behavior where you just placed a call and said, hey man, there's somebody over here. You may say prowler, you may say, well, whatever, but it's like, hey man, just come check this out. There's a guy that went down this dirt road. I've never seen that motorcycle before, and there's no houses over there, but there's houses everywhere else. I think he's up to no good. So that's probably one of the things that I stress the most. When you're getting off the road, get off the road quickly when nobody's looking. Turn your lights off. Don't let people see you going to your stealth camp unless you're just scouting out places. But even then, if you're poking and prodding roads, and when you get off the road, people are seeing you. Man, I've been up and down this road twice, and this guy keeps going down these trails. Guess who's going to be out there with a spotlight who normally isn't? Somebody with a badge and a gun. Good chance. Depending on where you are. I come here because you aren't Steve Wallace. That's I don't know if that's a compliment or not. It should be a compliment. I don't know. I've watched Steve Wallace a few times. I imagine Steve Wallace gets old because I don't think there's a whole lot that changes except some of his techniques. He's pretty much done every kind of stealth camping there is, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't watch him that much anymore, but unless he's doing something interesting, he's got an interesting spot, or he's doing something weird. He does a lot of, let me go in here to the store and buy some crap that you wouldn't think that would work. That's interesting. He dug a snow cave in a parking lot. I just thought that was amazing. He went in, somebody plowed the parking lot, pushed all this bank of snow over to the side of the parking lot, and he went in there and dug it out and camped in there overnight. That was brilliant. So he does some interesting stuff. But I'm glad you're here, Matthew. Hunker down. Of course, man, hunker down. Call that big talk for a one-eyed fat man. Bold. Been there. That's why those big bikes get you in trouble. It's a compliment. It's okay. You're great. Yeah, cool, man. Do you pack heat? I do not. I stopped carrying when I was when I started riding, because I go through states that don't like guns, and there's a lot of states that don't like guns that I really want to go to. There's like Colorado, California, Oregon, Washington. Damn, I'm trying to think. New Mexico. There's a bunch of people that don't like guns, and I don't want to be the guy that's out there sticking something out. And I don't worry about people in the woods. I talk about that a lot. I think that's so many people's biggest fear is going out and getting raped and murdered in the woods. And dudes, even, it's really strange. I get that with women, but dudes going, man, I'd never go out in the woods without a gun. It's like, I've been doing it a long time. I mean, I used to carry on the motorcycle, but I tried to talk a bunch of people in a few years ago to go out and do the prove, disprove bullshit, shooting from a motorcycle kind of thing, because that's what it's everybody's head. Everybody's fantasy doesn't line up with reality. But I wanted to say, let's go out in the woods and set up some targets, and let's ride by the targets and pull a pistol and fire at targets just to see. And everybody thought I was crazy. It's like, you could be safe doing something like that. I think everybody was afraid that they would crash, which is a good possibility. You're riding along and you take one arm off the handlebar and pull a gun, and most everybody's going to be right-handed, so all you're going to be able to do is pull your clutch in, right? Pull your clutch in, pull your gun, fire, shoot. See how many times you can hit a target. I still want to do it. I think it would be very enlightening. But back to the point of carrying, what's the point? I stay clear of cities. I keep going back to that. I stay clear of cities. I'm not worried about critters. I don't camp much up in the damn, what's wrong with the picture? I don't camp much up in the grizzly territory, so those are the only critters that I'm worried about. Grizzlies. Although Keith has been sending me some pictures of some big mountain lions lately. It's got my attention. Although, man, I still think that a big cat, they're smarter than bears. They're much smarter. I think that they're going to pick a victim that's more defenseless than somebody like me. I mean, a cat would probably tear me up, but I think I could probably beat the shit out of a cat while he's trying to eat me. So, bear, big grizzly, no. Even a small grizzly, I don't want nothing to do with. Black bears, not worried about. They're almost always more scared of me than I am of them. Camp stove. I have a couple of camp stoves that I'm working with now. The butane bottles, the twist on things. Man, any stove works fine when it comes to that. Pretty much. I don't think that there's anything special about it. But the thing that I'm really excited about is my my Zaldaran grill, the thing where I can I have moved away from the, well, completely abandoned my firebox. I had dreams of going and cooking things in the woods for weeks on end because I've got this little box that takes wood that you can cook stuff on for hours as long as you just keep the sticks going. But that's just not true. It's a pain in the butt to use those things. So Zaldaran grill, if I'm building a fire, I've got this stake that you put in it's called a Zaldaran grill. It's a stake that you put in the ground and you put this grill on it with a handle and it tilts and it moves around. It goes up and down, moves around. It's fantastic. If you're going to have a fire, that's the way to go. So I don't know if that answered your question in a roundabout way, but yeah. Camped by a drive-in once and watched them. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I've never done that. I would like to do that. I love drive-ins. And not just that, if you got a radio, typically the new drive-ins, if you got a radio, you can tune into the channel, right? And you can hear it. Yeah, that would still be cool, though. Creaky adult flick. Bigfoot will get you. Of course, Bigfoot will get me. But, I mean, what's a gun going to do against Bigfoot? Aim for the eyes. Serial killers are not running around the woods. They're mostly in parking lots. Yeah, mostly at the quick stops. Anybody know if Don has a right to have a pistol in his hammock because it's his home? I would say that would definitely depend on the state and probably even the county. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of stand your ground states for people that are standing your ground, or castle doctrine. That's what it is. Castle doctrine, hammock doctrine. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to stab them to death. If they're fucking with me, I'm going to stab them to death and, use the castle doctrine. Try to anyway. Suppose a fire would negate the entire stealth camping deal. Yeah, it gets in the way. But it really depends on where you're at. Like right here, if I wasn't worried about the wind, I'm not worried about anybody. The road is way down the hill, maybe a half mile. It's at least a quarter mile. Nobody's looking up here at my fire. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody can see it, and nobody's going to come this far in to investigate it. But yeah, close by the road, yeah, you don't want to stealth camp next to the road. Up here, packing heat means you sit in a cooler till they decide to let you out. Yeah. When I go camping, I'm more worried about wild animals than I am other people. Matthew Boyce, I think that's one of those things. I think once you spend enough time in nature, you discover what the real threats are. So the critters, it depends on what state you're in too. Down here in the southeast, the biggest critters we got, the biggest, scariest critters we got are black bears, and they're about this big, and they're almost all the black bears of the South are 200 pounds or less, and they're mice when it comes to people. They don't want to be anywhere near you. The only exceptions are when they have cubs, and they still probably won't attack you. They probably just get away from my cubs. I've run into a mother with cubs out here several times, and the last one I even got on videotape, and she just bumped at me, and like, hey, you better leave my cubs alone. The cubs were up a fucking tree, man. I think she had 2 or 3 cubs. They were up a tree, and she's like, just bounced at me, like, get the fuck out of here. Even if she attacked me, she may have been 150 pounds, and I just kicked her real good. She probably would have run off. Grizzlies, another story. Big cats, maybe another story, but critters, man, critters are. You go further up north, you get into moose territory. Moose are very dangerous, but people don't ever think of moose. It's a big fucking cow with big horns, right? Big long-legged cow with horns. Those motherfuckers will kill you. They will kill you. They will maul you. Same with deer, and probably with elk. If you fuck with the wrong deer, they'll stand on those back legs and fucking hammer you. They could kill you, and you're just avoid them. That's all you got to do. You don't have to to worry about them coming and eating you at night, because that just doesn't happen unless they're grizzlies. And even that's very, very rare. You're much more likely to be killed in the city that you live in or killed in a wreck. But people, it doesn't, you know, those fantasies don't come up. What if I'm eaten alive by a raccoon? People spend a lot of time dreaming up these ways to die in the woods, which are just not true. What camp stove? We already talked about that. Dangerous run-ins with wildlife. No, never. Never. My dangerous run-ins with wildlife almost always are deer running across the road. That's the most dangerous run-in I ever have. And that's a lot. That's why I don't ride early in the morning or late in the evening. Usually I try to get to camp before 3 or 4 because the deer start moving as the sun goes down. In the morning when the sun comes up, they start moving and they cross the roads, and it's a good way to die. Got my fire maple stove and new Nemo pad ready for it to warm up for some adventures. MBR, man, I got a fire maple stove and I got the kettle. Have you checked out the kettle? I've got some videos coming on both those. The stove is a stove is a stove. The cool little twist on thing. I mean, it's really small. It's probably the smallest one I've seen. But yeah, they sent me a stove and a kettle. I love the kettle. The stove is a stove is a stove. It fits. I can stick it up my ass. It's so small. But the kettle is really cool because you can hang it. I got a lot of cool stuff to show you. I got a cool new skillet that works amazing with a folding handle. I've got a little device, a little hanger to put 3 sticks together to make a tripod that you can cook on. A little chain that goes and holds that kettle. It's a really cool setup and gives you options when you're out in the woods to, not depend on the butane. Picture of a man mauled by a mountain lion. Well, like a dead body mauled. Bigfoot. Ring race on Weathertop. Love it when Henry Fonda said to Gavin that lots of bears are around. One ate an old lesbian just the other day. That was a long time ago, dude. That was the early 80s. I'm going to just ate an old leathery lesbian. That's pretty funny. Got the kettle. Oh, the kettle, man. I really dig the kettle. Biggest problem in the woods is bugs. Yeah, those are the things that'll eat you up, man. Nothing else is gonna eat you up. Bloodsucking bugs. Hang your food away from camp, or better yet, don't have any. Deer on the road, major problem, especially at night. Biggest threat for motorcycles, hands down, 1,000 to 1. You're much more likely to die as the result of running into a deer than you ever are being eaten by a raccoon. Dirty motorcycle vagabond. Lyme disease. Yeah, man, you got to be careful with the insects. Lyme disease, it'll put a hurt on you. You got to watch your ass with ticks, too. New prison fit was the category. Prison wallet. Prison wallet fit. Yeah, it might be painful going up, but you could get it in. I don't know, coming out. I hope those prongs don't fold out on the way out. Yeah, but it's tiny. I mean, it's this big. When you fold it down, it's tiny because it doesn't screw on top. It screws down in the threads. So that little hole on the butane containers. Shit, y'all. I gotta get some clothes on and get my hammock set up and get behind this tarp. I'll do another live stream the next time I get internet. This is a great location for streaming. That's why I was like, I might not get a better one. If I get another spot like this, I'll do the same thing. So stay tuned, and y'all go watch some of the stuff that I put out in the last 2 or 3 days. I put out a lot of short videos. And if you haven't watched episode 1 of the Blue Ridge Parkway stealth camping thing, go watch that. And thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Oh, see y'all soon, I hope. Oh, it's like, wow. Real quick tour before we go. So the first thing I went to up here was the fire tower. You can't really see the fire tower. You might be able to see the cell phone towers up there. These dogwoods popping out. Man, it's just beautiful up here. And you can see the smoky goodness over there. And then through here, you might be able to see that forest fire. Can you see it right there? And then there's another one behind this tree. It looks like maybe it's mostly out. So they got a few fires in here, which makes me not want to make a fire tonight. But as you can see, this is a pretty good location. I like it. I really like this spot. I would say 360 degrees, but really it's like 150, one something. Yeah, it's like 250 degrees, I think. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. It was good talking to y'all. Glad y'all could join me. And the adventure's not over. It's just really just getting started on the Blue Ridge. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Later.